Hi, I am Jen Wilson, the Healing Rebel. Welcome to this 7-day gut reset beyond food mini course. Today we are going to be talking about your posture and how your posture impacts your gut health and how it impacts your digestion. Over the 7 days, I'm going to introduce you to a topic. Food is actually going to be day 7. There are other things besides food that are important when it comes to our digestive and gut health. You might be somebody who eats what you consider to be healthy foods. You might be cooking things from scratch and you think you're doing really well, but you're still struggling with gut health issues. So hopefully something over these 7 days you'll go, right, I see. And that will make a difference to you. It might be everything, it might be one thing. I'm going to try and keep these videos short and not go off in tangents and give you a really simple, practical tool or takeaway or something to practice that will help improve your health and well-being. Hopefully you've already downloaded the tracker or chosen another tracker that you want to use, and you've started to pick up on how your body responds to things. It might be that when you eat something, you feel really bloated, really gassy, uncomfortable, sluggish. You maybe start the day one size, and then by the time you get to the end of the day, everything just feels tight and horrible on you. It might be that when you're eating something, you start to get itchy. Maybe your skin gets itchy, your eyes, your tongue, the roof of your mouth, your ears, or you become really mucousy. So you start coughing up or having to blow your nose. And these can be things that you experience or have been experiencing that you've never recognized as things that are connected to your gut health, responses from your body that are connected to your gut health. And when we start working on that, that will help reduce these symptoms, which will help you feel better, and then you will be able to enjoy food more. That is the aim of the game in life, isn't it? To be able to go out and eat something and feel great, or sit down just for your dinner at the end of the day and not be like, oh, that's made me feel horrible. Posture, how we hold ourselves. Becoming aware of how you hold yourself is the first step to being able to improve your posture. A lot of people, just because of the nature of society and how life is set up for us now, a lot of people have heads dropped forwards, whether that's you're on your phone a lot, or you're at a laptop or a computer. Laptops are worse than computers usually because the screen is always low. If you've got a monitor and a keyboard separately, then you can have your screen up higher, which can help your posture. You're dropped forward. Even if you're playing with the kids or the grandkids and they're down on the floor, then you're going to be in this forward motion. Most of life happens in front of us. This is just how life happens. We need to be aware of this. So when we've got this tilt forward, as soon as I've come in to that pull forward, I can feel the muscles down in the mid back start to get crushed, like start to pull, just from that head being pulled forward. And then when I try and take a breath, I'm only breathing into the top of my chest. I'm not able to get the breath any further past there. So already just that simple head pulling forward is changing how I'm breathing, and it's changing how I'm holding myself. It's changing how my muscles are working. And that's only in the upper part of the body. We've not even come down into the abdomen. So let me just pop my seat up a little bit higher. Or in fact, I'll stand up. That would be better. You'll lose my head. That's okay. So when my head is dipped forward, you can see straight away as I did that, my head, you can't see my head obviously because I'm off screen, but my head comes forward, the ribs drop down. The ribs drop down. I'm shortening this space between the lower ribs and my abdomen. If I'm standing up tall, here are my ribs, here's my hip. When I droop my posture forward, you can see that hand drops down. So I'm squashing in here. In this area here, we have the stomach, you have your spleen, you have your liver, you have your small intestine and your large intestine, and then whatever reproductive organs you have down here. And if you've had reproductive organs removed, then you will have scar tissue in this area. So straight away, with that head tilting forward, we're shortening the space in here. We're not able to take a full breath. And even if we tried to take a full breath, there's nowhere for this to go. Everything's been pushed out. When we stand up, there's space. So when you take the breath in and the ribs get to move out, there's a muscle called the diaphragm, which sits from rib to rib in a dome shape across here. So when you breathe in, that pushes down and massages all these organs. And then when you breathe out, it pulls back up and then it massages the organs up above the diaphragm. And we want this to happen because as your stomach's getting massaged, it's helping stimulate and smoosh up the food, so it's getting broken down to start going down the next part of the pipe. It's stimulating the liver so that the stomach acid, the digestive acid and the enzymes are being shot into the stomach so that the stomach can utilise that in that breakdown process. Then the small intestine, when that's getting the massage, it's been able to then help push the food through. That's where the nutrients start to get absorbed into your body as long as the food has properly been broken down. And then going into the colon, making sure that the colon can then massage the remainder, the waste, what is starting to become the waste product. And that then hold on, I forgot to put my microphone on my pigtail. The food's going into the colon, that smooshes so that eventually the bacteria in there get fed, and then whatever's left over is able to come out in the toilet. What comes out in the toilet, hopefully, is a nice firm poo that passes easily. If your poo is very runny, then your colon's not reabsorbing water into your body, which is going to contribute to dehydration, and we speak about that in a further on module. It's also meaning that the pipes are not going to get cleaned properly. It's not, you want the poo to fill into the pipe so that everything's getting cleaned out properly. If the poo's sticky, then it's getting stuck inside as well. If you're not passing, if you're doing a little poo that's about that size, little pebbles, then your body's reabsorbing too much water and the poo's too firm, and then you're constipated and not able to pass, and that's not good either. So you're wanting this kind of like good Goldilocks kind of poo coming out at the other side. And if the posture is slumped down here and it's crushing everything, then all those functions are not able to happen, and that's then going to cause you problems, because if there's excess water in here, that's what the bloating is. If the environment's too dry, that's what's causing the gas, that's what's causing the wind. Whether the wind's coming up or whether the wind's going down, that means the environment's too dry. Again, we want this kind of Goldilocks. Don't want things too wet, we don't want things too dry, we want it somewhere in between. Your posture, we want our posture to support our bodily functions. The first thing that we want to be able to do is to get this chin drawn in. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't ever have your head dropped forwards. We live in society, we live in life, our head is going to have to drop forward sometimes. But can we draw the chin in so that we're starting to pull the ear back to come in over the shoulder? And then we want to think about the shoulder being over the hip. And then we want to think about the ribs being tucked in. A good way to get the ribs to tuck in, I'm just going to move this camera back slightly so I'm more on the screen, help up a little bit. I've lost my train of thought. To get your ribs to tuck in, if you giggle, you go, ha, 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 and you feel like a fool for doing that, but then you go, oh yeah, I've actually giggled now because I've just said something funny. Or do a breath as though you're steaming up a mirror, and you'll feel your ribs kind of knit together and the abdominal muscles engage. So we want to be able to have this kind of experience. The other thing that we don't want to have is this, pushing the ribs, the boobs forward. That's going to create too much of a curve in the lower back, and then it's going to overstretch in this area, and you're still not going to be able to take that full breath. So you try and breathe here, This can't push down, this can't get massaged, so we want to be in the middle, so ribs tucked in so that they're stacked over the hips. That then creates the appropriate amount of space here for you to be able to breathe, so that all the organs are getting their massage and everything in here can work effectively. Now, if you are really tight in your body, so if your day is spent in this hunched over position, coming into this space is going to feel like a lot of work. This space should feel like effortless effort. So your muscles are all working in perfect, I don't really want to use that word, but kind of, they're working in synchronization. So we're up here, muscles at the front and the back are all working to help support your posture. When you're down here, muscles at the front are all squashed, muscles at the back are all lengthened. So when you come up here, this feels really tight and those muscles at the back are going to fatigue really, really quickly. We want to be able to open across here and across here so that these muscles can activate in an appropriate way. I am going to give you a very simple little technique that you can use every single morning, and I encourage you to do it every single morning. And if it feels great, let's do it more often throughout the day, and it will just help untangle some of the knots here. What we are going to do is we're going to bring our palms together, and you're going to bring your elbows up roughly to shoulder height. Now, some people will be able to get their elbows together, some people won't. Depends on how broad your chest is, depends on how long your upper arm is, and it also depends on how big your boobs are. So palms together. If you can get your forearms a bit closer in, bring them closer in. That will just give you more of a stretch across this upper back. And then we're going to take the elbows out wide, spread the fingers, lift the chest and start to look up. Take an inhale so that you're getting this stretch and opening across the front of the body. And then as you're exhaling, relax the fingers in, bring the elbows in and down, tuck the chin into the chest, tuck the tailbone under, round the spine. So we're inhaling, opening out, exhale, bring that in. Inhale, open out, and exhale, bring that in. We're just going to do that 5 or 6 times. Inhale, opening out, really spread the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades together so you get this stretch across the chest, and then exhale, bring it in. Let's do that one last time. Inhale, and then exhale in. And then let your arms come down. Try and bring yourself into that alignment again. So tuck the chin in, ear, shoulder, hip stacked, ribs tucked in, and notice how that feels. Hopefully having done that 5 or 6 times has just loosened off a little bit of tension and allowed that to feel more comfortable. When you are eating, you want to have this nice open posture, so not slumped over on the sofa, eating our food, watching the telly. I don't know why I made that funny noise. We want to be sitting ideally at a table in a nice upright, tall position so that we have space. You do that stretch before you've eaten, and if you forget, you can do it after, because that action there will help massage. If your tummy's full, it might feel a bit blochy, so don't make yourself feel sick. But this is starting to open things up. And even after you've eaten, if you reach up and just do a nice big stretch to create space there, and then sitting up tall, even going out for a gentle walk after, holding yourself in an upright position for your posture. That is today. Give that a go. I will be checking in the WhatsApp group to see how you're getting on. If you've got any questions about that, please do reach out. If you want to know more about my posture reset and strengthen mini course that I've got on, I've got that available for you to buy and work through at your own pace. Or I teach Pilates classes live online on Tuesdays and Saturdays at 10 o'clock in the morning, yoga on a Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Any of that is of interest to you, please do reach out. I've also got my on-demand platform, excuse me, that's got over 200 classes, and it includes that posture reset and strengthen along with other Pilates and yoga classes. If this is where you're at and this is what you're doing, perfect, keep that up. But give that a go before your meals today. Let me know if it makes any difference at all. For some of you, it will make a significant difference. For others, it won't. Depends what your start point for your posture is. And I will then see you on tomorrow's video. Have a good day.